So the next presentation is going to talk about all 5 things in AI, because it's going to be talking about, our speaker will be talking about a very specific use case. So let me welcome Jaime from Vantage Towers on stage. By the way, he lives in Mallorca, so if you, ladies and gentlemen, don't clap, you're not going to be invited. So if you want to be invited to Mallorca, let's give a nice round of applause.
Thank you, Eugenia. So good morning, all. Jaime Abril. I have the privilege to run the product development team at Vantage Towers. Vantage Towers is a tower company. And I'm happy today to speak to all of you about the tower company role in this whole ecosystem driving Open RAN with AI and AI for Open RAN, smart cities, 5G connectivity. So first of all, a short overview about Vantage Towers. So again, tower company, it's a pan-European company. We operate across 10 markets. We own and manage more than 84,000 what we call macro sites, which are ground-based towers and rooftops mainly. We've got also microsites like DAS or indoor coverage locations as well. And we are a relatively recent company. We launched in 2020 as a spin-off of Vodafone towers, telecommunication sites across these markets. This is a trend that started a few years ago in Europe of some of the main mobile network operators to spin off their towers and set them up as a business with a key tenant to share infrastructure and monetize those assets. And this is what we are doing since the start. Our main customer obviously is Vodafone, but we have all mobile network operators as customers on our towers as well. And also non-mobile network operators. We have also, for example, Tetra networks operated by public administrations, police, etc. We have IoT networks as well. We have utility networks as well. So it's a vast range of telecommunication equipment and boxes that we have on our sites, on the rooftops and on towers, and antennas. And basically the part that we own is all what we call passive infrastructure. Our main offering is to manage those rooftop towers and ground-based towers and build new ones. So we have large, what we call build-to-suit programs for mobile network operators, for Vodafone and others, Telefonica, for example, and other mobile network operators. For example, you will see an example today as well here in Ireland. Beyond these macro sites, we also own and manage and deploy new microsites. And here it's indoor coverage systems, DAS, as well as outdoor small cells and smart city infrastructure. When we look at the MNO, which is our main customer and where most of the business for any TowerCo comes from, and smart city demand, we see that the TowerCo can play really a crucial role in solving this demand. Okay, so for example, when we look at on the city side, there is a need of deployment of IoT sensors, be surveillance cameras, for example, air quality sensors, weather sensors, noise sensors, any kind of sensors to really power all the smart city applications. Also, we see a need and a demand of public Wi-Fi deployments, outdoor and indoor as well. Interactive screens, so citizens can interact with the public administration in a digital way and consume public services. and as well as e-charging. And finally, obviously, to connect all this, you would need IoT and 5G connectivity, which we also support through both public with mobile network operators and in some instances also private networks for IoT, like LoRa networks, for example. From the mobile network operator side, the increasing traffic demand and need of 5G deployment on higher bands increases the demand for micro infrastructure for two reasons. First, the macro grid, it's already stretched. It's very difficult to, from a physical standpoint, to to add a new point of presence within the grid. This is one reason, and therefore you have to go down to street level. The other reason, it could be permitting, it could be very expensive areas, and it's not economically viable anymore to deploy microsites. So microsites is the solution to this, and we are seeing increasing demand by some mobile network operators in Europe to start deploying small cells. I'm gonna, in the next couple of slides, just show you how we are collaborating with cities for macro site deployment, and also how we are moving out from some not so beautiful deployments that probably you have seen all around, some ground-based towers and as well some maybe not so beautiful rooftops. Two designs like this one that you can see here. This is in Ireland, and it's basically built for three, but it's prepared for to host more than one MNO, up to 2 MNOs, 4G, 5G, and also with the possibility to backhaul this solution via fiber or microwave links. And here, the collaboration with cities is crucial because it's a solution that allows us to scale massively these kind of deployments at macro, but also at micro level. As you can see, these monopoles can have a height of between 12 and 21 meters, and we have other solutions that are even shorter, okay, for a small cell deployment as well. This is just one example. We, let's say, cooperate already, and many of our cities are already landlords of our sites for example, sports centers and public buildings, etc. But this is a kind of a one-by-one case where it happens that the landlord of that particular building or a sports center, for example, is a city council, for example. In this case, this is a more, let's say, a scalable solution in the sense that you have a framework of collaboration with the city, and then, of course, whenever you need to deploy this element, for example, which is visually integrated in the environment, as you can see, you would make an application and then subject to all, let's say, conditions, then it would be approved and we would deploy this in a matter of days. Another example, this is for small cell deployment, a project that we have with Telefónica. In Spain, we are building a small cell infrastructure for them. And we are, let's say, using a two-leg approach here. One is using private ground space on shops, stores, medical centers, etc., as well as public space. And this is an example. This is the first smart sign that we deployed in Madrid for Telefónica. And it's in a physiotherapy center in Madrid. You can see it's an illuminated sign, which is pretty much empty, and where you can have 4G and 5G small cells there. It has an alarm box. It's fully connected, some sensors, and basically it's also a scalable solution. You can print any store and or public building branding that you want. It's a retroilluminated solution. You see also, you've seen at the bottom on left, a picture there. This is a picture where we are using crowdsourced data, and we are processing that. We are processing that to identify and help our customers also to find where these small cells could be deployed. Okay, so that's part also of the work. We go beyond just getting some search areas. Also proactively looking for areas where from the crowdsourced network data that we get, we can see that there could be capacity or quality or coverage problems. I just wanted to summarize a bit the challenges and opportunities that we see as a TowerCo when we look at, on one hand, MNOs, on the MNO side and also the city side, okay? Looking at the MNO side, we see increasingly more capital constraints and returns. It's very difficult to monetize new deployments, and this is where basically TowerCos with infrastructure sharing can help really to reduce those costs and make those deployments more cost efficient. On the city side, they are getting increasingly from mobile network operators, from neutral host providers, from TowerCos now, also more and more applications to deploy new elements, causing an increasing landscape cluttering. Okay, and this is creating a resistance by cities really to allow a fast deployment. Actually, the processes in some municipalities are very, very slow because of that. And even if there is an overarching regulation at the European level and then at national level, then every municipality, every city has other regulations that maybe do not have to do anything with telecommunications, but with other, let's say, areas of this is an ancient part of the city and therefore, needs to be protected, and other considerations, and then the process pretty much stalls there, okay? And finally, also, this is a huge problem now for microsite infrastructure deployment, which is the regulatory fragmentation. I am personally visiting lots of municipalities for the project that we have in Spain, and you don't have a single point of contact. Every time it's a different department that you have to deal with, and then there is a moment where the communication between departments eventually gets difficult, or there are no process, and this is also causing a significant slowdown or a stalling of the process altogether. On the other hand, I mean, not all are negative things, so it's really tough to deploy microsite infrastructure, but there are some opportunities here that we believe can help us. One is the TowerCo as neutral host, really going not only for the mobile network operators, but also for the cities, as a infrastructure that can be shared on a modular level, starting with the passive elements, as well as incorporating additionally other elements. It could be sensors, it could be the cables. Now, for example, for the Strisworth site, it's a pre-rigged monopole which comes already with cables and antennas. So this is a step forward on sharing elements in that infrastructure. Same happen, and hopefully this is something that we are exploring and following closely, eventually with general purpose hardware to power Open RAN, for example. I mean, we have 84,000 sites where people live, business are present, and therefore ideally located to host those general purpose compute, as well as edge to run AI inference, as well as AI for Open RAN. The Open RAN and RAN software and hardware unbundling, it's the other big opportunity. So we are really excited about the Open RAN deployments and trend, increasingly more Open RAN deployments, because this is the way at this moment to get this unbundling between software and hardware, and continue the path of cost efficiency for infrastructure, for telecommunications, but also for smart cities. And finally, on the regulation fragmentation, we have some hope that the new Gigabit Infrastructure Act will help to top-down to organize at this moment this chaos that we see, or huge fragmentation we see across cities when you have you want to deploy some elements to add 5G, help the MNO sort out the connectivity challenges, and help also the cities to deploy their sensors and connectivity that they need to power the smart city applications. So that's the conclusion of my presentation. I just wanted to raise a bit the awareness of the TowerCo as a new kit, I mean, in Europe, not so new in other parts of the world like North America and APAC, but relatively new. And the let's say, role that TowerCos can play and play today already in the 5G deployments and increasingly in, as well, in smart city deployments. The business model of a TowerCo is very simple, is put capital on infrastructure that can be monetized over the long term. So we are really looking at the long term. It's not a short-term venture, it's a long-term venture. And also the key principle of the TowerCo business is sharing. The more that you share, and this is an objective that we all TowerCos have, the better the business is and the better cost efficiencies for all parties involved. So thank you very much.